Change your body, change your life.
Welcome back to Gold's Gym, everybody. We're here for another week, and this week we don't have Monica with us. We have somebody a little bit different. So I'll introduce Tim Strom, aka the Stormbringer from Power Zone Wrestling. He's going to be demonstrating some of the exercises for us today, and what we're going to be doing is the back to start. So we'll be doing exercises that target the upper back and the lower back, and obviously that go along with that, some of the legs as well. So we're going to start with the deadlift. Tim's already got it set up. So what he's doing, he's got his feet, we just want your feet about shoulder width apart, just a little bit wider. There we go. And the deadlift is probably the #1 exercise that you can do in the gym. As far as targeting, you can go ahead. Good, yep. As far as targeting just about every muscle group in your body, particularly the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, and then obviously the back for reasons you can see here. So really the key to doing this is sticking the butt out. It's really about getting the butt out and not letting the knees go too far in front of the toes. So he's got good technique. He's got a nice flat back if you watch next time. There he goes. Good. It's hard to see behind the hair, but it's there. The back is flat.
The technique's there, right?
The technique is there, that's right.
Not going too far forward?
No, that's good. And we're just doing this in a squat rack right now. So it's easier to pick the bar up off the squat rack at waist level than it is to actually pick it up off the ground. So that's why we do these things in a squat rack. Good, how you doing?
Not too bad.
All right, let's just do a couple more. Good, one more. Nice job. And I should mention too that he's got a reverse grip. That's a typical thing you see when people do deadlift, is they have one hand supine and one hand pronated, which just means underhand and overhand. And that's a typical thing you see with weightlifting. The next exercise we're going to have the Stormbringer do is called a reverse push-up. And now this is again for the back, and you'll see why it's called a reverse push-up in a minute. Again, we're doing this exercise on the squat rack, and this has kind of become one of my favorites. And what we do is just adjust the bar to an appropriate resistance. So you can see he's almost horizontal when he's down at the ground, just as you would be with a push-up. And he's just pulling up so that bar is coming right to the middle of his chest. And again, this one's great for the back. You're using your own body weight, and it's actually quite difficult.
Yep.
So keep on going. Let's try to do about 3 more. And this one I actually can spot for. I can actually just help supply a little bit of help from the back. Good. So this doesn't last long for heavier guys because it's you're lifting all of your own body weight. Women can do this sometimes for days, but for a guy that has, 100 pounds upper body weight, it's a little more difficult than it looks. The next exercise we're going to have Tim do is called the reverse elbow throw. So here he is. He's going to take an underhand grip. And this is just one that I named the reverse elbow throw. I'm sure some other trainers have names for it. But he's just getting in a semi-squat position, keeping, again, a nice flat back. You don't ever want to round the lower back. That's just going to create back problems, and that's how you get bulging discs and whatnot. And so really what he's doing is just throwing his elbows straight back. This isn't a lift. I don't like it when people consider this a lift because you don't actually lift it so far off your legs. It stays along the path of your legs. And again, you're targeting the muscles of the upper back, mainly the trapezius. So he's squeezing his shoulder blades together, that's good. And your trap actually has an upper component and a lower component, and this one works both of them. So it's kind of a mix between a seated row and a shrug. So we have Tim over here at the cable machines, and we just got a regular straight bar with the pivot in the middle. You don't want the bar without the pivot, otherwise the bar itself rolls in your hands. And really it's called a straight arm pull down for a reason, because he's trying to keep his arms straight. And a lot of people when they do this, sometimes they get too much tricep involvement and with extension and flexion of their forearm and upper arm. But with this one you just want to keep the weight appropriately, appropriate so that you can actually just go down with your arms completely straight. And again, you're targeting the muscles right here behind the shoulder. Good. And we got a little bit of weight on there too, and it's more difficult than it looks as well. Thanks again for joining us for the back day, and we thought we'd give you a bit of a different look with the Stormbringer coming in. So he did a good job. I'd like to thank him for coming out. So now it's time for my tip, I suppose. So what I was going to talk about this week is training technique and how some people get in trouble with heavier weights. I don't know if it's an ego thing or what, but if you tend to lift heavier weight with bad technique, I mean, you're setting yourself up for an injury. So just build towards it. It's something that you should be Learn the exercise first, learn the proper technique, start with a weight that you can actually handle, and then build into it. You'll be surprised at the results that you get. So thanks again for joining us. Come back next week. We'll be doing a Bazoo ball training episode, which is more functional training, but it's quite useful for most people. So thanks again.
Thailand's national sport